Hi there and welcome. My name's Chris Can with Mining Journal and I'm here at Mining Journal Select with Trevor Jones, Chief Executive of Lynx Global Intelligence, a data management consultancy group. And we're going to talk about ESG mainly, Trevor. Thanks for being with us. Really interested to understand how the corporates should be using their data and managing their data to improve the ESG performance, given how important that is to overall performance these days.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I mean, the main thing that we really try to suggest and implement for the smaller companies is getting started early on that data collection, right? So rather than waiting till we have to search a bunch of spreadsheets and that email inbox later on, really want to get ahead of the game there across a bunch of different sustainability and safety categories. And then, we help companies not just with advisory and consultancy, but we make a software as well. So that platform allows companies to gather all of that data, again, really upfront in the life cycle of the mine, so we can start doing the great work with data management and AI, especially as it comes down the pike as well.
Okay, is that the most common mistake that you find, that companies generally don't prepare, or there are other regular mistakes that you're seeing that corporates should be on the lookout for when it comes to data management?
Yeah, there's a couple things to pay attention to. So you don't want to make the mistake of spreading your data out amongst a bunch of different systems, right? So you want to keep it kind of in a consistent aggregated location, and you want to also make sure it's detailed, kind of source level, coming from the ground up, and verifiable as well. And those are all things that the platform kind of helps us take care of.
Okay, when we're looking at a lot of the ESG metrics out there, kind of steering clear of the safety aspect just for a minute,
Sure.
There's a lot of data available to be managed and to make the most of. Absolutely. When it comes to the larger companies, the miners. What about the smaller and the juniors who are exploring and potentially developing? How do you actually gather the data and use that constructively in that part of the market?
Sure. So you look across kind of the spectrum of data categories that companies can start capturing. On the environmental side, it tends to be surface and groundwater, noise, vibrations, dust, these kinds of things. To a certain extent, exploration companies can still start to do baselines and capture that data early on. They might have a consulting or advisory firm that comes in and does that work for them. Another great function is to kind of use Lynx to keep that data around, so there's no gatekeeping by some of those other companies later on. So yeah, you're going to want to start on the environmental side, and then of course there's the social side as well. So you have your community engagement. Really, anytime you're having a meeting with any stakeholder, whether it's from the government or the community, you're going to want to capture that. So it was said. I don't know how your memory is, but if I had a meeting 2 weeks ago, sometimes those details are a little bit lost, and that's going to be pretty important when we're going forward with community engagement too. So get started early and just attack that whole spectrum of data that you can start to grab.
And we can't talk about data and data management without talking about AI these days.
Sure.
How do you see AI changing the way we manage data, the way we use data in the mining sector, and potentially looking at both the ESG and then specifically the safety function as well, if there are applications there?
Absolutely. So a couple different functions we can talk about. Trend and pattern analysis is one. Sustainability report writing, we know how long that cycle can be, 6 to 8 months to get all that data in. So folks can use the AI functions to dig into their data and rapidly write those reports as well. Probably the biggest one, and the one that I think is going to kind of affect kind of the wider community the most, is going to be querying the data. So actually getting in and asking a natural language question of that mining company's data. And instead of us having to run around the world giving PowerPoint presentations, it'll actually just automatically kind of let investors, regulators, community members, anybody else that's querying that data know what's going on at the site. The most important thing is to get the data ready for AI. We have data that's spread out all over the place, kind of not in a centralized, aggregated location, and that's just going to be the very first primary step. So we can take advantage of all the cool tools that'll be developed over the coming years here.
Trevor Jones, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Chris.